Well. It's another day. It's a Tuesday, and I don't know what you can say about a Tuesday. Anything special about Tuesday?
It's a terrific Tuesday after yesterday.
Taco Tuesday.
I had that last week. I think it was Thursday.
Mhm.
Could have been Friday. No, it wasn't Saturday. I know better than that.
They're good any
As
day.
long as they're homemade.
Good. It was. They were. Good morning. I'm Rayford Brown.
I'm Kelly Knapp.
And I'm Lee Barrows.
And welcome to Live and Local Real Talk. And we do appreciate y'all. And here on Facebook and YouTube, and soon to be on a special internet radio station.
Yes.
And who knows, maybe a little bit more.
We're going to be worldwide.
We already
I know,
worldwide.
worldwide.
We'll be world. We're going to go to Mars.
We need to go to the space station.
Well, let's put a
Actually,
link.
maybe I can do that. I've got a over there. On the other radio. I do have capabilities to talk with the International Space Station on schedules. All I got to do is set one up.
Well, let's send them a link so
I
the
think
next
I'll do
time they go to space, they can call us.
Of course, we
listen
got two people up there. We might not want to put on the air live because they are going to be like shell shocked.
Mad as heck. Yeah.
They're going to be grouchy.
Actually, they're probably saying, you know what, I can handle this for another couple, 3 months, 4 months,
Mhm.
because I'm going to collect all that money, honey, and I'll put it down 24/7.
Mhm.
What do you get
And
special
overtime.
pay?
And
Special pay and
overtime.
overtime.
Yeah, I want overtime. Just give me time and a half. So it would be fun. Anyway, rain, and a whole heap more rain yesterday, and it continued overnight this morning. Had a bit here, 3.28 inches at the right here at our weather station on the north side of Jacksonville, almost a half inch since midnight. So in the
Yes.
24 hours yesterday, from midnight until midnight last night,
4 inches.
I had 3.28 and 0.42 this morning.
What did I have? 3.87, I think it was,
I
or
don't know.
something.
I got to
like
get a
that.
rain gauge. I'm going
And
to
then
get
a
one.
point.
You miss it, don't you?
60.
Comparing.
Yeah, I
Who's
used to
got the
have
most
one.
rain?
And it just,
Oh,
my daughter's
okay.
dog tore it down.
I
gotta
had
get a new one.
3.90 for yesterday and 0.62 since midnight.
Yeah, okay.
So a little over
Well,
4.
there was a severe thunderstorm watch warning up in the Carteret County area, central Carteret County. There was a storm that came in off the ocean and it's moving towards the northwest. And they issued flash flood warnings and all sorts of good stuff. So if you're in the Carteret County area, it's particularly central to northern part, northeastern part, slow down or turn around and go back home.
Yeah, I
One or
ended
the
up.
other. Lake School was out yesterday in Carteret.
Yes, it
And,
was.
I don't know about
canceled
today. I
school.
haven't heard about today yet.
No, everybody's on a 2-hour delay today, including, well, Pinter's closed. I know that. They're
Okay.
closed today.
Yeah, well, they got such low-lying areas up there in
Yes,
several
they
places
got a
that
lot of flooding.
they get
Mhm.
lots of flooding, always do.
I know they got out early yesterday and then they closed today because I get all their messages because of my grandkids. But
But we were actually lucky here, even with 4 inches of rain that you've got.
yes.
I was talking to a friend of mine, and I checked online as well. The down the area in New Hanover County, Carolina Beach to be
Good.
specific, had 18 inches.
Yes.
18 inches of rain.
I was watching a lot of that live
Wow.
yesterday. Oh my gosh.
And you know what, 12, 14 hours, they had 18 inches of rain. His place was flooded.
Yeah, I imagine.
And he's not on the ocean. He's inland.
No,
So-
some of those are condos, townhouses,
Mhm.
that the water was up to the roof of the cars.
No, don't, no. Not one. The system, known as a potential tropical cyclone, came ashore late in the afternoon, dumped a whole bunch of water along parts of North and South Carolina. At one time, the storm had sustained winds of 50 miles per hour, started losing much of that strength after interacting with the land masses. But the rains continued, and they kept on coming. The National Hurricane Center reported flooding conditions would be possible, especially in low-lying areas across inland counties of North Carolina today as well. Many roads are flooded. Travel is restricted. The Highway Patrol reports hazardous driving conditions and advises motorists to use extreme caution, or better yet, stay home. Venture out only for emergency situations. Along the immediate coastal regions of North Carolina, gusty winds were continuing overnight. They're breezy now, but they don't have any of the warmth that they had earlier, and more of a weather report coming up shortly. So, whatever. Well, lucky Kamala.
What?
She's resting easy today, if she believes the latest poll that shows her with a substantial lead, that's what they're calling it, over Donald Trump in the state of Pennsylvania, with a whopping 19 delegates at stake. It's one of the biggest states with the most delegates available of the 7 states that are classified as border states, as battleground states, whatever they call it. 19 delegates are at stake in Pennsylvania alone. Her numbers have her whooping Trump 49 to 46%, a fairly substantial lead when you're in a closely fought state like this. 49 to 46 sounds like it's all but over for Donald. May as well avoid getting shot by another disgruntled American and stay under wraps, don't you think?
You didn't say that.
But that said, Pennsylvania is but one of the 7 so-called battleground states, albeit the most important to win, according to the brilliant minds of election gurus, that she must win to become the first female president. Here are the numbers. There's a thing about polls, and this poll too.
Yeah.
It has a margin of error of 4.4 percentage points, and she's 3 percentage points ahead. In other words, if the error was in Trump's favor, she would be losing it. Y'all, you need to look at the numbers, not the headlines.
I will say that on national news last night, of course, news, they were showing that all the battleground states where you must win,
Uh-huh.
they were showing that they were all still undecided. So
Yes,
how
they-
can you take a poll
You can take the poll.
and it shows somebody's in the lead when you really need to focus on the battleground
Keep
states?
in mind, polls are just a snapshot in time, and this poll was taken before this past weekend's assassination attempt. Yeah, that's what they're calling it.
Can you believe I've had 2 phone calls from different organizations taking polls?
No,
First
really?
time
How?
ever.
I don't get it.
How?
I don't
I
know.
want to take a poll. Somebody poll me, please.
She
Well,
signed
I
up
want a
for it.
poll. How do you
Lee
do
must
that?
have
Being
signed up for
active in the state party, and
Oh, I
my
can't
name's
do
on the
all that.
list.
Okay. Well,
So-
then never mind. I guess I won't be getting polled.
Okay, now I don't know how many people. I did not look it up. Pennsylvania has. I don't know how many voters they have, but it's a bunch.
Okay.
So this poll picked out 500, what they call qualified likely voters in this year's election. All of those numbers that I read you are the result of picking 500 people. What are the chances that if they pick 500 people from, I don't know, across the state today, what are the chances that the same results would be there?
Be
That's
different.
what I would want to see. I would want to see 3. You don't do 1 and think that's the final case here. You don't know. Pick 3. That's the only way to do that one. Pennsylvania is but one of the 7 battleground states. If you're Harris, I guess you're smiling today. Sitting kind of pretty. Maybe she doesn't look at all of the numbers like some of us do. If you're Trump, you'll say that the margin of error is in your favor. That's what you need to maintain to keep your base going and keep the people interested and actually bring out more people that say, well, I just really don't, I hadn't thought about it. I don't really want to vote. What I'm saying, y'all, it's a horse race still. Neither one better take this poll too seriously unless you want to use it for propaganda purpose only. If you are Harris, I would use this poll and say, look at what the people in Pennsylvania are saying, all of them. No, 49% of the 500 that voted. Let's say 249, basically.
249 people of a state of how many registered voters?
I don't know, of 500 people.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's not a poll.
Well,
I mean, it is, but it's not. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Like,
we could take a poll right here, the 3 of us.
that's what I'm
well,
saying. Like, that's
yeah.
why
It would
these
be
polls.
2 definite and
Yeah.
I'd be undecided.
No, you can't say
You
we're
can't say I'm
definite.
definite about anything.
I'm not definite about anything.
I'm
just
definitely not definite about anything.
Sitting back.
What impact the most recent assassination attempt had on this election is anyone's guess. We have no way of knowing until the next round of polls come out.
But the polls only do a small amount of people.
Uh-huh.
But people take these polls like super seriously.
Uh-huh. We know
Oh,
that
my.
underdogs often score well when it looks like someone's out to get them. As in a poll right now, probably going to favor Trump. He's getting all the publicity and he's the underdog. I mean, the man almost got shot again. You can hear that. That's what they say.
Okay.
Both camps have already spent more money for advertising in Pennsylvania than in any of the other 6 battleground states.
Yeah.
Both sides have reserved huge blocks of advertising time in Pennsylvania going into the final weeks of this campaign. I don't know how you reserve it unless you put the money up. You ain't going to reserve nothing with us, for instance, or any place I've ever worked, unless you put cash out there. Then you reserve it.
I have to say, some of the commercials are really good.
I thankfully have not been subjected to those. The Democrat National Committee is ready to spend literally tons of money in an effort to ensure the party maintains control over the White House. Remember, this is the same party. This is a key line, y'all, that I wrote sometime in the wee morning hours. This is the same party that had major concerns about Harris even continuing as Biden's running mate earlier this year because they feared she would drag him down while he was seeking re-election.
See, it doesn't matter.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't matter now because she is what they had when Biden decided to step down from running again.
This was a predetermined opportunity. Who else did the Democrat name somebody significant who would have been able to step in without Harris being there if they had stepped in early in the year and the Democrats party had not told them to bow out, as they did RFK Jr.
Right.
Who significant would there have been that they could put up in a primary that could make it through a primary without getting bloodied, which is what would have happened, that, with Harris? Who would the Democrats put up? I have no idea. I don't even know who the Republicans would put up. There are plenty out there, but there was a given that Trump was going to run, and
Well,
he did that for the last 4 years.
did you ever stop to think, what if something between now and the time for election did happen to Trump? What then?
I guess I'm going to need to get my name changed in a hurry.
Mm.
None of the above. I don't know what would happen. What would happen if he bows out?
He's not going to bow out. We know
Who?
that. But
Trump.
Hey, Rayford.
What would happen if he just said, I've had enough of this crap? The guy can go off on tangents, you know that.
Well, he's been going off on
Well,
tangents his
we
whole
know
life.
that.
He was doing that when he was doing that show, whatever it was.
Yeah. But
and I hate to say it, but there's been 2 attempts on him already.
he may say enough is enough.
Well,
I don't know.
I don't think that's going to happen. Well, what if there was a third and he got seriously injured, wounded, or whatever,
Or worse.
or worse? And then what happens then? Who's running for a Republican president on the ticket?
The Republicans would have to do exactly what the Democrats did.
Exactly.
Pick
Yeah, but
somebody.
aren't ballots already put? They're already starting the early vote next
Yeah,
week. I mean,
yeah.
you wouldn't even have time to get somebody else's
Somebody's
name on the
already
ballot.
I would say they would have to start all over. That's an interesting question. What would they do?
I don't know. Don't
It's never
think about
happened
it.
before.
I'm just thinking the poor Democrats out there, the folks out there, the voters out here in this country had no say-so in who the Democrat Party picked
Funny you say that because
to be their nominee.
I've had a couple of Democrat friends from back
Unhappy.
home. They're unhappy.
Yes, they are.
They did not want Kamala Harris, and they're upset that they weren't even given an option to choose.
Well, they got a
They're
final
not
option,
happy.
and I don't. The people who do not, the Democrats who do
Mhm.
not want her, but do not want Trump.
Yeah, my friend said they just weren't voting. This is
That's
exactly
the
what
one-
they said.
Exactly what's
Mhm.
going to happen.
That's what they
Yeah,
said.
I think so too.
All
So
of
they
those
were not
so-called
voting.
500 likely voters, I'm wondering how many of those
Mhm.
500 likely voters are really going to vote.
You know, they use
I
likely,
think
yeah.
there'll be people going to the ballot box, but under president, they'll skip it and go on.
Mhm.
I've heard people say that, tell me that, and I'm
Just
just
mark
like,
both of them; it'll be void. Make you feel better. That way you can
yeah,
say,
it would
that
not
way
that
at
vote
the,
out.
that way at the end of the day, whoever wins, you can say I voted for that person.
Mhm. I mean,
You know,
Vote for
all,
both of them.
all
if
we
that's what you
ever
want.
hear the left, the far left, and then we hear from the far right,
We don't hear from normal.
We don't hear from the middle.
We don't hear from my people.
Right.
How many unaffiliated polls have been taken? I'm sure somebody is, but they're not telling us what the results are. The only one that I heard was a local poll done, and 60% said they were going to be voting for
Right.
Trump.
A lot of them's going by past history.
Uh-huh.
North Carolina is going to be a surprise this year.
Yep.
You wait and see.
What do we got?
No, I can't see it.
I know they're going. I'm
I think I know
sure.
who this is.
I'm sure we're going to have a Democratic governor.
Oh, I'm
well, that's pretty
fairly
much a
certain of
given
that.
here.
Yeah.
Good morning. How are you? Hello.
I am doing great.
All right, Butch. Now keep everything you told me yesterday after the show. You were going to call in this morning, and you're doing so. Thank you for that. And you want to talk about Trump's assassination attempt. Is that what it is?
That is crazy because I was watching the first assassin, the attempt on Trump's life the first time, which was a crazy thing to watch live.
Uh-huh.
Agreed.
So, I just saw your channel, and I'm new, I'm young, but I'm 23.
Yep. There you
And
go.
I just wanted to speak my opinion, and I'll keep it polite. Absolutely.
Okay. Now, what you are you? I don't care how you're registered to vote. I don't care anything else. But have you made up your mind how you're going to vote?
But being, people my if you think about it, you guys have better knowledge than I do. So I graduated. I went to college. I understand a lot of standpoints on politics and like what's right and wrong, the Republican or Democrat. But we're not thinking, no matter who you vote for, in my opinion, we got to make the economy better. For younger people like me, it was a struggle moving out. I graduated in 2020, just right before the pandemic. I lost my job during the COVID. I lost a pretty good, because I'm calling from Las Vegas, Nevada. So there you go.
Well, I would say that's a crapshoot right up front. Pardon the pun, but anyway, well, I don't, getting into the job market or trying to get into the job market right after college at age 22 at the time, 4 years ago, and you may as well walked out into a battlefield unarmed.
Coming from an Air Force family, my younger brother, I'm disabled, which sucks. I'm very patriotic to our country.
Well, thank you. We appreciate that.
Oh, absolutely. I was born with just a condition called microsis, which means being born without a left leg. So I'm like half deaf, in a way to put it. People born without like a hand, finger, leg.
Sure.
You can't really explain it. It just happens. So it broke my heart when I'm a senior in high school and I am just getting hit up. I'm getting calls to join the Marines, and sadly I couldn't. But it's completely 1 out of 1,000 babies. It's so. I call it a curse, but I call it a curse. Yeah, because I love our country, no matter whatever. America is America for a reason. Now let's put our differences aside and let's just be appreciative of the country that we're in.
God, I wish we all could do that. It would be great.
Amen.
Sorry, excuse my language. I'm just keeping it real here. Absolutely. I just feel like the younger people I'm saying like eight. I mean, my age, but it's difficult. The house, the market, the rent, going to even go get groceries for a living. It is a challenge.
Yes, it is. I understand.
It is a challenge.
I definitely
I
understand.
wanted to ask
Go ahead.
your opinion about how you think younger people my age should view what's the way, but the economy, how we can level ourselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Something
well,
like that.
leveling ourselves, I hear that from a lot of the folks who lean towards socialism. They want to level the playing field. Level the playing field is different than having everybody doing, getting exactly the same handout amount of money, regardless of what the job is, yada, yada, yada. Something that's doled out by the government. That's not what this country is based on. I think that if you're working hard, folks like you, I do not get me wrong. I'm not comparing you to the other group, because people like you deserve I don't want to say a better opportunity, but you definitely should not be held back. You should be given some special consideration. It's the same way that I feel about our military when guys come back here with one leg, or they have got serious traumatic injuries. What they deserve some serious consideration that people like me don't deserve, to be honest with you.
Yeah. So you're speaking the truth. I kind of look at my generation of like I always was taught, look up to your elders, understand they know a lot more than you do. It was a lot better 20 years ago than now. I'm looking back there, looking back, and I'm like, wow, it was a different time back in the 70s, 80s, 90s, but it seems more peaceful. But I was born in 2001, so I can't sit here and be like, I know everything. I don't like that. Yeah. I like to listen to my elders. I like to listen to people that know knowledge, that know stuff. There's nothing wrong with that.
Well, the only thing I know is what I have learned over the decades, and I'm literally decades because I'm many times your age. So
how old are you?
76.
If you don't mind me.
I don't mind. Wow. I'm 76.
Wow. You military or
prior? Yeah, but for a short time in the Coast Guard, but a long time in law enforcement.
Thank you for your amazing service to this country. People need to know that the country wasn't built on sticks and stones.
Yeah.
It was built on blood and sweat, in my opinion. People, it's just right now, it's so hard. What really, really, really scares me is that how bad it's. How like moving out of your parents' house. I thought that was really cool. So I moved out when I was 18. Mm-hmm. I was like, I'm gonna move out. I'm gonna do what I gotta do. But oh my Lord, it got expensive. Okay. I mean, here in Vegas, I don't know how young adults survive.
Yeah.
I don't know how anybody survives.
I don't even want to be there. But
I mean, the prices of food out there.
Don't worry, I'll move.
Hot. That's all I can think of. Is hot.
All right. Hey, Butch, we got to do some weather here. We do appreciate it. I hope you get through the day fine. I'm sure it's going to be hot out there in Vegas. It's going to be a little cooler here on the East Coast.
Thank you. I appreciate you taking my call.
All right,
you guys have a very lovely day.
You too, Butch.
The rain forecast brought to you by Community Prevention Services of Jacksonville. Did you know North Carolina is number 2 in the nation for teen vape use? I know one person to my immediate left who knows that. Parents, caregivers, do you want to learn how to help keep teens from vaping? Perhaps you want to learn about vapes, what's in them, how dangerous they really are, especially for teenagers. Mm-hmm. Or simply what the various kinds of vapes there are out there. Community Prevention Services offers free information on all substance misuse prevention issues for youth and adults. Give them a call today at 910-353-0972. How about depression, anxiety? The number of cases has increased significantly since 2017. The number of both adults and young people using vape products is climbing at a steady rate. Do you or someone you know have issues with either depression or anxiety? If so, reach out. The staff at Community Prevention Services is there to help, and they're eager to do so. They provide quality, confidential counseling for people from 7 to 100 years of age. Call them today, 910-353-0972. Community Prevention Services located at 918 Henderson Drive, right here in Jacksonville. Offshore today, small craft warning remains in effect through tonight. Winds out of the south 10 to 15 knots. The waves are still big, 5 to 7 footers. Near shore, they're 4 to 6, subsiding to 3 to 4 this afternoon. Sounds and rivers a moderate chop. Tomorrow, westerly winds 5 to 10, becoming southwesterly in the afternoon. Seas 3 to 5 feet, except 2 to 3 near shore. And on Thursday, northerly winds around 5 knots, much better, becoming easterly in the afternoon. Seas 2 to 4 feet, 2 feet near shore. Sounds and rivers will be flat, increasing to a light chop in the afternoon.
Well, you'd never know it, but the forecast claims it says it's going to be mostly sunny, a high of 81 today.
It's kind of foggy right now
It's
and misty.
It's misty and gross.
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't know if that thing is still just being slow or what, but the weather needs to catch up. Tonight, partly cloudy at low of 66. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, 85 with calm winds, 5 miles an hour. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy, a low of 67. Then on Thursday, mostly sunny, a high of 83 with a 40% chance of showers and thunderstorms after 2 p.m. Like we need that.
Mm-hmm. And there you
I
go.
don't know.
All right.
I think this forecast's a lie.
You guys want to chat about anything, go ahead and ring us up here, 910-333-0139, 910-333-0139. Whatever the topic, try to stay on topic. You got a new topic you want to bring up, let us know. We'll chat with you.
Right.
Let's be very clear about what federal agents are calling a second assassination attempt. Some people are saying all sorts of stupid stuff out there. Yes, it definitely appears that Trump got lucky for a second time in as many months on Sunday when Secret Service agents opened fire when a man picked up his rifle in what appeared to be in preparation to shoot Trump.
Mm-hmm.
The agents, some distance away, too far for an accurate shot, fired what we're told was 4 rounds from a 9mm handgun. It was enough to have 58-year-old Ryan Wesley Ruth, or Ralph, leave his rifle, a GoPro camera, and a couple bags behind, jump into his car and speed away. His car and license plate were caught on camera by a man at the scene. Local law enforcement found the car, did a felony stop, and Ralph surrendered, well, under threat of getting his butt blown away, and he was smiling at the cops.
Mm-hmm.
Trump did not come close to getting shot. No shots were fired at him, none that anybody has been able to verify.
Correct.
He was 250 to 300 yards away from the man who was armed with an older Russian military rifle that looked like it had been sporterized to keep it from looking like a military gun.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, I am vindicated. After 48 long hours, the Secret Service has acknowledged that the rifle that was recovered is not a Russian AK-47 or not even a Chinese knockoff of an AK-47, and is indeed an older style Russian designed SKS rifle. 48 hours ago, I said it. I'm right. Hundreds of thousands of those rifles were imported from China 30 and up to 50 years ago and were selling in the beginning at stores, including Walmart, for $30.
I've seen one.
I've got one.
I know, that's
But
why
not
I've seen
not,
one.
Not the Chinese version.
No,
I
you've
got
had the Russian
version.
one. That's what I'm referring to.
Matter of fact, I was offered $900 for that
No
at the
way.
gun show
Uh-huh.
one time last year, a couple of years ago.
We had it out there a couple of years ago. Yeah.
They're not the weapon of choice for gangbangers and other ne'er-do-wells. Even with an aftermarket polymer stock, they're heavy.
I was going to say it was heavy when I picked it up. It's a heavy gun.
It's not something you want to be toting around,
No.
and gangbangers don't want to tote those around. It's not the weapon of choice for bad people.
Well, you can't run with it. I mean, you can, but you're
Military
going to
people
struggle.
can.
Yeah. But they're
More
trained.
details about Ralph will continue to come out, but it's doubtful anything new will surface. We know that he
It's
moved.
crazy.
He wrote a book.
Well, yeah.
And you know what his book said? Well, a lot of
Yes, I
things.
saw that.
Yes.
And was urging Iran to kill Trump.
Yep.
yes.
So Iran didn't do it, so I guess he decided he'd take it on himself.
Yeah. He was
He's
mad about
crazy.
the
So
Iran
that
nuclear
in
deal.
itself, when you look at
That's
that's
intense.
going to be a conspiracy right there. It could be a federal charge.
Yeah. Well,
There are all
yesterday-
sorts of possibilities here.
They said there could be more charges coming
Oh,
other
I'm
than what they
sure
just.
there are going to be more charges
Yeah.
coming.
He
Yeah.
sat in court yesterday and just laughed and smiled. He's crazy.
Yeah,
I definitely
no,
think he needs an evaluation. I will definitely
I-
say
Now
that.
I don't
I think
think,
it's way
don't
beyond
waste
that.
the money.
it's way beyond that.
Well, his
We-
former neighbor
it's
talked about
crazy.
how the family was a little odd and kept a horse in the house.
Yeah.
and-
Big old horse in the house.
I had a horse in the garage one time.
well, I want an
It's a whole
alpaca in
nother
my
story.
house, so I mean, I ain't gonna say too much about the horse. But I'm just saying
That's right.
that my little alpaca won't be as big as a horse.
We just put a
still,
nice-
I've known people with pot-bellied pigs in their house. What can I say?
they're,
Oh,
but
yeah,
they're litter trained. I mean, they're smart.
Now we get you a great big bearskin rug for the
yeah.
bedroom, so the alpaca.
I know it's gonna
can
have its own
sleep
little
there.
bed.
Yep.
I'm getting one. I think I've kind of got Robin talked into it.
Yeah.
Oh, you would just go buy it and not tell him that's what you're going to do.
Yeah.
Hey, Jack, how's it going?
Hey, good morning.
Good morning,
How's
Jack.
everybody doing? How's everybody doing today?
We're covering.
Yep.
How did you fare?
Oh, pretty good. And that's what I was calling about yesterday from midnight yesterday morning until last night. We had 5.5 inches of
Wow.
rain here.
Shoo.
And this morning from midnight till now, we've had an additional 2.5 inches of rain, and it's
Wow.
still drizzling a little bit.
Wow. Yeah.
So that's over 7.5 inches so far. And of course, where I live here in Hubert is a sandy type soil, and water soaks in pretty good. But now down in Bear Creek and Swansboro area, that's kind of a different story. And I don't know how much Swansboro got in rain, but it was quite an event after midnight last night. I mean, it rained so hard. I've never heard it rain so hard. And that 2.5 inches came down within probably 2.5, 3 hours.
Well, you had a tornado come close to you last night too.
Yeah.
Traveled through across
Absolutely.
Swansboro.
It was down in Cape Carteret and
Right.
24 and Highway 58 intersection. It crossed over there. I
It
don't
was
know. if
heading
it,
for Swansboro, Belgrade at one.
Yep.
Yeah, and it was headed up towards Maysville, and I
Right.
don't know if it. I don't know if it ever. I didn't hear if it actually touched down on the ground.
Well, they
or not.
showed last night on the radar that there was some debris field in it. So whether it was a
Okay.
little bit, a lot, or whatever, but it showed actual debris field. So
Where it was
Yeah,
sucking up
so-
some stuff.
yes,
But we don't know whether that was woodlands or what.
that's correct.
So-
Yeah, but the wind speed on my weather station didn't show very much wind.
Mine
Maybe
neither.
10, 11 miles per hour at sometimes, and it stayed
Yeah.
hovered around 4 to 6 most of the other times. But I pay attention to that and pay attention to the stations and the weather channels and so
Yeah.
forth. But
Sounds good.
hopefully this system can get on out of here and we can dry out a little bit. But anyway, well, I have a couple other things.
Okay, go
I
ahead.
heard you mention that there was polls going on, telephone polls, and I received two yesterday, two polls asking about the presidential election and the state elections with the governor and the agriculture commissioner and insurance commissioner and so forth. And was one was about 5 o'clock, and the other one was right at 8:30 last night when I got the other one.
I had one on a Sunday afternoon. I thought that was
Oh, wow.
really unusual.
Well, I guess they got smart.
I'm
They don't
going to
call
give them
me
your
either.
number the next time they call me.
Yeah, BR549.
Yeah. Well, I normally just hang up when I don't recognize the number, but yesterday I said I'm gonna ride this thing out, and yesterday starting at 9:45 a.m. and ended at 8:30 with that last call with the poll person. I received 22 telemarketer calls yesterday.
Ooh, good Lord.
Mostly all of them wanting to sell me a insurance supplement plan for Medicare. But when I asked them, they would call and they'd say, do you have Part A and Part B? And I'd say maybe. And then they'd say how. Then
Maybe.
they'd say. Then they would say, how old are you? And I'd say, well, how old are you?
Okay.
And then they'd hang up.
They do not want to have that kind of discussion with people.
And then they asked me what if some of them asked, what my date of birth was, and I said, well, what? Tell me this. I said, well, what is your date of birth? And then of course, they'd hang up. But you gotta know those numbers, and I've got a way to block them when they call, but it don't make any difference at all about blocking them. They continue to call, and
From other
two
numbers.
of them two of them I had a conversation with asked me to allow them to take my name off of the do not call list. I said, well, I don't have a do not call list to start with. I said, it don't do any good. So then, of course, they hung up.
I've
But
blocked them.
it's getting to the point now where you pay a enormous fee to have a cell phone and a home phone, and you get interrupted continually. I was trying to do some work around the house here, and I'd have to stop, and when the phone rang, I'd have to stop and go check the number and see if it was somebody that I knew that was calling, and it's still irritating and aggravating to have to do that. If you're expecting an important phone call, you won't be able to get it if they're trying to call on that other line. But anyway,
the problem with some of all that stuff is, yes, they will change numbers, and yes, they when they call me, I've got a Wilmington prefix on my cell phone. All right, I've had it since 1990 something. But they call using the same prefix from Wilmington, and it says Wilmington on it when they call me. I'm like, okay, I know bloody well that's a fake, because there's nobody that I know with that prefix on their phone number, because this one dates way back. That's the irritating part. They do that, but they anticipate that I'm going to answer it because it's got a prefix that looks just like my prefix. I don't do
Absolutely.
it. Or when I do it, I'm in a mood. So when I do it, I will have a chat with them, and it's usually not very nice, and it's always short-lived. They hang up on me. I don't get a chance to hang up on them because I'm rude and crude when the time comes. I don't have to be otherwise. It's my phone. You're interrupting. You pay me. I pay for this line. I pay for it for my privilege to use it, not yours. You have no rights to call me. If you want to call me, it should be everybody who calls my line that I do not know should have to pay me a fee.
well,
Now, that is how the cell companies and all the telephone providers can get around this crap that we complain about every day. If they would institute a fee that, do you accept this call? Is this somebody you recognize? And you say, nope, then that person gets billed. That person gets billed $1, and I get it. I get the money.
yes. Well, some of the calls I received, most of them were on my cell phone, but some of them were on my house landline.
Yeah.
A few of those 22 were, but they identify with a person's name, and when they call, I'll say, "Are you John Doe or whatever his name they're using?" And they say, "No, that's just the number of the computer selected." And it's just
it's a scam.
Ongoing thing that needs to be addressed some way or another by whatever agency that can. Like maybe the phone companies start charging them, but it's getting to the point now where you can't have any peace and quiet without your phone ringing when 22 calls within that short period of time. That meant about every 30 minutes I was getting a call, and sometimes I would get 2 or 3 within them, within a shorter period than that. But hopefully that can be addressed.
Yeah.
One other thing one other thing I want to tell the folks about is there is a jokester, prankster situation going on, and I hadn't heard about it being here, but I know it has happened in surrounding area. And I'm not going to tell you what the chemical compound is because I don't want people to, the pranksters, to know. But if you go out in your yard or you go in your mailbox and you find a plastic soda bottle,
Oh,
With
yeah, I
plastic
heard.
bottle.
Yes.
and you see little pieces of bundled up aluminum foil, do not pick it up. Do not call authorities immediately.
Don't they say
Let
if you
them
pick it up and shake it, it'll explode? Was
Yes.
that the
It will
one?
explode.
Yes.
Yes.
It will explode if it's jostled around. And they have been found in people's mailboxes and found in people's front yard. And I'm not going to tell you what the chemical compound is,
no.
but it's something that can be put together very, very easily with household solutions.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very dangerous thing, but also for you idiots out there who want to try this crap, you put it in a mailbox, it becomes a federal offense right up front. Call the postmaster. They will send the postal inspectors out there and they will investigate. They will, if it becomes a trend, you put something in your mailbox like this, that belongs to the federal government, whether you buy it or not. And they will come
That's
out
not
and
how it works.
they will
I
come
hate
out
to tell
and
you.
investigate.
Well, if you're like me,
Absolutely, but
go ahead.